Well, hello everyone in the IMPaX World family. I hope you've had a great week so far. I hope you've been doing some things that are good for your health, that are good for your emotional and mental and spiritual and physical well-being. And we're excited about tonight's call. We've got some things to share. Um, and we want to hear from you. So we love if you'll send us some feedback, would be absolutely amazing. We're going to ask people over the next little while if you'll send an email into us, and I do have Kim, I know, sent me the correct info@impaxworld.com. So you can email us with questions or with feedback. What do you want to hear on these calls? How can we help you build your business? How can we best serve you? Because that's why we're here. We're here to serve you and serve your goals and help meet your needs. So we would really appreciate your feedback and any questions or comments you've got. We would love to hear from you. info@impaxworld.com. So tonight we're going to focus on a couple of things. But before we get started, I really want to talk a little bit about something called the motivation curve. And I'm going to ask Anita if she'll put that JPEG up on the screen for those of you watching. I know some of you have called in and listening, so I'll describe the curve. And basically, whenever we're doing anything new, whether we've started a new job or we've started something like maybe a healthy eating habit or trying to sleep better or whatever it is, in the beginning of anything, like now, we've been focusing on our Ion Thrive business. We're selling these machines, sharing this product. Well, at the beginning, you'll see this curve goes way, way up. And this is called the hype. This is when we're gathering all the information. We're getting really excited about everything going on. The hype is when we are the most excited. We've tried the water. We've tried Enterprime, Delta E, whatever it is. This is when we have the most energy to really go out and sort of tell everybody about it. And as we get the top of that curve, we have something called the honeymoon. Again, this is in anything, whether it's a relationship or starting a new job, building a new habit, starting a new business. We've got this honeymoon phase where everything is all coming up roses. And then you guys, invariably, we have this thing called the plummet. And you'll see that curve take a sharp, like 90-degree downturn. So if you're listening, the hype takes us way up. The honeymoon is this beautiful arc to the top. Then we have the plummet. And some of you have experienced this in your business, and this is where we're really tempted to just give up. A lot of people, the minute that honeymoon phase is over, there's a disappointment or something didn't go like you thought it did, or I've talked to 10 people and no one wants to buy a machine, and you just want to quit. You give up. You've got that plummet. Well, if you'll push through that, there's always a little bit of a time lapse there. And this is kind of where that plummet hits its bottom and swells out, makes it a little soft curve, a lapse. And this is invariably, I'm telling you, if you'll just stick with it, if you just won't give up, after the plummet, you will experience a surge where something will happen that takes you back, right? Someone will say yes to you. Yes, I want to try Enterprime. Yes, I want to sign up for AutoShip for Delta E. Yes, I'd love to have a machine or start buying water. You'll have a little surge of momentum. It comes back. All right. And invariably, you will also have more slips and surges. So this motivation curve, I wanted to show it to you because across time, if we're going to succeed at anything, we have to understand that these are normal phases. You guys, it's normal for things to have ups and downs. Everything we do, we've got to push through. Listen, every wave crashes. If you've ever been to the ocean, ever been even to a lake, you know, the waves all come in. Every wave crashes. But guess what? There's always another wave right behind it. And if we learn how to ride the waves and we don't get upset about a crash because we know another one's coming, it will help sustain us on our journey. As we have, we need to build momentum, and it's forward momentum. Can I tell you, even if it's swelling up and down, it's still forward momentum. These things are building. So if you really have a desire to make a permanent change in your health, if you're just now beginning to try IMPaX World products, Enterprime, Delta E, IMPaX, all of those products. If you're just now starting out with alkaline water or hydrogen water, you know, you've got this upward curve. I'm doing something, you're excited, and then something out of your control will happen and you'll feel that slip. And I want to encourage you to push through that, not to let a plummet or a lapse cause you to give up. You got to keep pressing forward, ride the wave. Another wave will come. You will have a surge, and every one of these waves is going to keep taking you forward in your health journey, forward in your wellness journey, forward in building your business. So I just want to encourage this as a little bit of a tool. Some of you who are maybe struggling with motivation, you know, that high at the very beginning has worn off, and now it doesn't feel like like you want to do this or it feels hard. Everything worth doing at some point gets hard. And I just want to encourage you tonight to press through that. Okay? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I promised last week that we were going to talk a little bit about the differences between alkaline water and hydrogen water. To focus, we've got two machines. What's the deal about two machines? Do I need two machines? Wait a minute, I bought an alkaline machine. Was that wrong? Should I have waited for a hydrogen machine? Okay, so we're going to answer. We're just going to address they do two different things, right? There's some things about these machines that have similarities, and we're going to cover that has to do with the filtration and some of the other great things about the machine. And then we're going to, over the next couple of weeks, kind of highlight some of the differences. So tonight, I've asked my very favorite friend and water guru, Justin Abramson, to join us. And Justin, would you kind of come online and give us a little bit about, okay, tell us first what alkaline water and hydrogen water have in common with each other.
So they're both really efficient on hydrating the body and really pumping up the cells because every single cell needs water. And so refreshing that water with quality water is very important. And then also kind of on that same wavelength is every body function needs water to be able to process correctly. That's the reason why it's very important to drink water right when you wake up, to hydrate the cells through the whole system. You're not lacking coffee, you're not lacking food when you wake up. That's not why you're groggy, you're dehydrated. Both of them are really good at detoxing in very similar but different ways. They detox the body, getting rid of the impurities that come from our day-to-day different things that we do. And then they help with inflammation and restoring the system, kind of as a disease preventative in a sense, because when you help reduce inflammation, you help reduce disease, because many diseases and health issues start from inflammation.
Okay, so tell me a little bit, if I could only choose one, right? I've got a limited amount of funds, or I'm just not ready to buy two machines. If I could only choose one and I was choosing the alkaline water machine. I've heard so much about alkaline water. I own an alkaline water machine. I'm drinking alkaline water. And I had some very specific reasons for choosing that. Well, if I was going to only choose one machine and I was going to choose alkaline water, could you just maybe focus on there's a lot of reasons, but we're going to focus just on one tonight, and maybe focus on the benefits that alkaline water brings to our gut. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
So for the gut wise, there's actual medical journals proving that alkaline water helps with the gut. In Korea, the Korean FDA has recognized alkaline water as to be able to be used as medical, to help with acid reflux, the chronic diarrhea, indigestion, meaning the abnormal gas, because that's 80% of our immune system. So taking care of the gut, that's where we absorb nutrients. You want to take care of that, and that's where alkaline water really shines.
Awesome. Now, what has been your experience with alkaline water as far as your gut health? You and your family, you've got a personal testimonial for us?
Yes. So I didn't experience acid reflux, but my wife and actually my mother-in-law both experienced acid reflux. And my mother-in-law had it for decades. I mean, she was taking prescriptions for it. And I introduced her to Enterprime first, then alkaline water. And with the combination of both, she no longer needs any antacids, not the prescription, not Tums, none of that. And what's interesting is she noticed that if she didn't drink enough of the alkaline water, it wasn't as bad as it was, but a little bit would creep up. She'd go, oh, I didn't drink enough water, and then start drinking it, and then it neutralized it. And it really helps out with that.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think that's one of our biggest benefits. My husband has had a similar testimonial with acid reflux and some of those chronic irritable situations. And it always boils down to if he's drinking enough alkaline water. So if that's your issue, if you've got any gut issues in your family, I would really personally recommend and endorse alkaline water to address those issues. Okay, now, so if I can only buy one machine, I'm brand new to this, or maybe I already own an alkaline water machine, but okay, I'm ready to take a leap for a hydrogen water machine. Could you kind of give us like the four aunties, the four aunties? What do those aunties have to do, and how can hydrogen water help nullify those aunties for us?
So first, I'm going to start off. These aren't just things that are thrown out. These are medical journals backing this up, and you can find all these medical journals as well yourself, proving anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, anti-allergies. But again, that goes back to the anti-inflammatory with the allergies wise, and then also anti-obesity. I mean, I heard a testimonial from somebody. The only thing they changed was drinking the hydrogen water, and they started losing weight. That was the only thing they changed, was starting to drink the hydrogen water. But consistency is key.
So could you tell us some of the ways, how does hydrogen combat inflammation? Like what does it do? What does it do to cells that help reduce inflammation?
Great question. So the hydrogen, what it is it acts like an antioxidant. And so what it is it's attacking the free radicals in your system that causes aging and causes stress. And so it attacks those, kind of like, eating berries, but it's a different form of antioxidant. Berries are still good, but this is another form and more antioxidants for the system to attack all that, which then helps reduce the inflammation. Because when you reduce the antioxidant stress or the oxidative stress, you reduce inflammation.
Okay, and of course, I love that. Okay, when you eat berries, that's also calories. So when you're
Yes.
drinking hydrogen water, you're getting all those antioxidants calorie free. So that's a nice added benefit.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about anti-aging. What's the deal with hydrogen and anti-aging?
And again, that leads to the fact that it's the antioxidants. So antioxidants, let's take an apple, cut in half, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago. Cut in half, what happens to it? It turns brown. That's oxidation. But if you were to take that half apple, the moment you cut it and put it under the hydrogen rich water, the antioxidants would slow down that oxidation. And you would notice that the half that you didn't put under the water versus the half you did would not brown anywhere close as fast as the half that never even touched the water. And that's one of the great just kind of tests that you can do right in front of yourself and let it sit out. And it's not consistently under the water. You just put it under for a couple seconds and then set it off to the side. It is night and day what difference it is. And that's what it's doing in the body every single day, every single time you're drinking the water. And all the studies, the majority of them are only drinking a liter to 1.5 liters, which is 6 cups of hydrogen water or less. Now we want to be drinking about 4 to 6 cups, and a cup is 8 ounces. And so that is hugely beneficial in what they're seeing in studies. Within 2 to 6 weeks, they're seeing dramatic results.
Wow. Okay, so what about, I know one of the antis is anti-allergy. How on earth can drinking hydrogen water help? Here we are, it's April. Guys, I'm in Texas, and the maple pollen and the oak pollen, and man, my car is covered in yellow, my patio is covered in yellow. How could hydrogen water at all combat people who are like constantly having to pop Benadryl and Zyrtec and Allegra? How can hydrogen water help with that?
That again goes back to the very top, the anti-inflammatory. When you reduce inflammation, you're reducing the reactions within the body to causing those allergens to attack you. Because of what it is allergens are inflammation in the system, and it's a reaction. And so then also the antioxidants are helping and stepping in and helping eliminate those allergens that are attacking us, because again, it's antioxidants supporting the system, removing that oxidative stress from other things. Because when you reduce oxidative stress, you're then allowing your body to do its job. And because our immune system is amazing, you just have to support it to be able to do its job.
Yeah, so honestly, it sounds like ideally we'd be drinking 4 to 6 cups of alkaline water every day and 4 to 6 cups of hydrogen water every day to get the full water allotment and have all the
Yes.
benefits, best of both worlds. Would that be crazy, or is that something you would recommend?
No, I would highly recommend that. I mean, honestly, so if you were to break it down, you would start your day off with 24 to 32 ounces of hydrogen water. Then throughout the day, you would drink, alkaline water, because again, like we've talked about, hydrogen water, the one negative to it, it doesn't last very long unless you have a really good sealed container. But the moment you release it, now you're losing some of that hydrogen. So transporting the alkaline with you for your day to day when you go to work or you go out hiking or exercising, whatever you do. And then when you get home, start drinking a little bit of hydrogen water. Now, of course, you don't want to do too much when you get close to bed, or you're going to be getting up a little bit. But that's basically, a couple hours before you go to bed. Drink 2 to 4 more cups of the alkaline water, and now or the hydrogen. Now you've satisfied both hydrogen and alkaline.
Yeah, so that's really a good tip, I guess, because obviously hydrogen is a gas, so it makes sense if I have a container, every time I open the container, some of that hydrogen is gonna leak through, leak back into the air. So that's a good point. How long does alkaline water last? Is there any issue or concern with how long if I put alkaline water into stainless steel or glass bottle or BPA-free plastic? How long does that alkalinity last before it starts to deteriorate? Could you answer that for me?
Yes. So alkaline, the pH sustains for weeks. What starts going down is the negative ORP, the oxidation reduction potential of alkaline water. Now, it doesn't happen immediately. It starts slowly going down after about 12, 24 hours, depending on air, sunlight, and temperature fluctuations. So if you can control those, then you have the chance of preserving those negative ORPs. But it does go down in time. So say in a week, it could be reduced to 75% of what it originally started at. Again, there's a lot of variables if you control those. As you're drinking a container, of course, now you're adding more air into that container, which then speeds it up, of reducing the antioxidants in there. But you do have some time with the alkaline water. That's one of the benefits. Is it's say if you're going to go on a trip and you don't bring your machine like I do. I take my machine everywhere. I mean, I've literally taken it to Hawaii with me. Just fill up a bottle and you can bring it with you, a 5-gallon jug, but just know that over time it's going to start losing those antioxidant properties.
Yeah, so that's really, I know you are such a, I would say water snob, but I say that in the best, kindest, most teasing, sisterly kind of way, to be a water snob, because once you get used to it, same thing. I would never dream of traveling without my Enterprise Delta E. I've taken it everywhere I've been around the world. I never ever leave home without it. I pack it like my toothbrush. So I definitely can understand how it would be easy to become, it's not that you're addicted, but what you are is you're addicted to feeling good. You're addicted to feeling clear-minded, and you're addicted to the energy. And so, there's a lot of reasons to own your own machine. Of course, the next best thing is to get a hold of the water, and I know they sell it at IMPaX Health. And it would be great. Any of you who own a business, it takes very little square footage. You need a sink. You need somewhere clean with a sink that you can attach a machine, and you could sell appropriate stainless steel or water or BPA free plastic bottles. You could fill it up and sell it by the gallon or by the water bottle if you're a massage therapist, or you work in a beauty salon or a hair salon, if you work where they teach dance or workout or aerobics or anything that makes sense, a chiropractor's office, dentist office, anywhere where people would want to drink water. You could literally set up a machine. You could purchase a machine, and you can let people sample and try the water, right? And then they could purchase machines from you. But you could actually sell the water just like they do at IMPaX Health. There are places that are having their entire store rent paid for from the proceeds of selling bottled alkaline water or hydrogen water. And I'm telling you, we're right at the curve of hydrogen water. It's new. Like they're starting to really know, understand, appreciate alkaline water around here, man, you see those bottles of Essentia. People are spending a ridiculous amount of money on cases of Essentia water. You could have a machine at your house and do that, or sell the water yourself. So I just want to encourage you to kind of give it a try. Think about it. Think about what an investment it might be, and think about creative ways that you could not only share the product, but maybe reap some benefits of proceeds from selling the product. It's going to be filtered. So you can just use regular tap water, run it through your machine, and you can use that to supplement your income and build your business. So now, on that topic of water machines and what it takes and how do you operate them and how you hook them up, we're going to go over to IMPaX Health, and we're going to talk to Antonio. Antonio's over there, and he's going to kind of give us a little bit of a demonstration, kind of show us the difference between the two machines. And Antonio, I just want to toss the ball to you and let you take it from there and give us a little demonstration.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited to share with you all the wonderful features present on the Ion Thrive machines. The Lord knows I could spend hours, but for time's sake, we'll just go into a few key features, and we'll begin with the size of the machine. So the size of the machine over here, the one in the middle is going to be the alkaline. The one closer to the outside is going to be the hydrogen machine. And so the size is similar to a family size cereal box. And that would kind of explain why the water is magically delicious. All right. And so the dimensions is 1 foot and 3 inches for the height. And then it's 1 foot wide, or 1 foot long, and 5 inches wide. So the water is magically delicious thanks to the state-of-the-art filtration process. So both hydrogen and alkaline machines come equipped with 3 filters. These filters remove out all the impurities and preserve the minerals our body needs. So the filters look like this right here. This is going to be the F2 filter. And each filter is going to be kept track of with microchip technology. So that's awesome. That's great. Now for the button display, I know it's kind of hard to see it, but so both machines have purified water, and the purified water is going to be water that runs through the filters, but is not ionized or dissolved molecular hydrogen into the water. So it would just be pure water. This water is used for when you're taking medications, because that's because the water is so effective at being absorbed into our bodies. All right. So the next button is going to be ozone water for the hydrogen machine, and that's a really effective water for cleaning. And the alkaline machine also has a very good cleaning water, and that's going to be acidic water. So that's really good at cleaning as well. And the alkaline water has settings 1 through 4, and each one of those is going to take you through 8.5 all the way up to pH 10, and both of those serve a different purpose. Drinking.
Antonio, if I could just interrupt you, sweetheart, would you mind? I know we're looking at you there. I want you to kind of go back and maybe show us, turn that alkaline machine on and show us, take us through the settings 1 through 4, and just show us how we would use acidic water, and then do the same thing. Show us with the hydrogen machine. You know, what's the ozone button for? What does that do for us? Kind of get your hands dirty. It's okay. It's okay if you mess up. It's all right. Show us how they work.
Great. So alkaline, so we're starting from the left going down. So we got about 6 buttons here. And so starting from the left all the way down, we got alkaline 1 and 2. Oh, by the way, this is going to be the alkaline machine. So we have alkaline 1 and 2, then we have alkaline 3 and 4. Alkaline 1 and 2 is going to be 8.5 and pH 9. 3 and 4 is going to be 9 and pH 10. And then we got, so the 1 and 2 is going to be used for drinking, and then the 3 and 4 can be used for cooking or soaking grains to reduce acidity. Then we have the acidic water, which is used for washing either your hands. I mean, it also can remove wrinkles in the skin if it's spritzed on the water or spritzed on the skin. Then we have the purified button right here. And by the way, it's very simple and streamlined to use these machines. All it requires is a press of the button and a twist of the wrist, and you have just wonderful drinking water right at your access. And so with the Alkaline machine, I always like to point out that it's recreating natural spring water right on your countertop. Now, our body loves natural spring water. It's what we were designed to drink. So that's for the alkaline water. And then also you can go.
Tell me how. Can you tell me how? I love that concept. How does it recreate natural spring water on my countertop? How does it do that?
Oh, okay. So what it does is it takes the water and it sends it through 3 filters, 13 stages, and it removes all the impurities, preserving the essential minerals for our body. And then it sends it through what's called an ionizing mesh, which is patented technology. Not other ionizer manufacturers have that. And that uses less electricity and it's a lot more efficient. So while we're on the electricity topic, it costs about $1 a month to use these machines for the electricity bill. And then it comes out the spout. The alkaline water comes out the spout, and that's basically the spring water. So spring water, when it's flowing, it's flowing fast. It's bouncing off of the rocks. It's dissolving the minerals from the rocks, and it's adding what Justin was talking about, that negative OPR. That's what's present in spring water as well. So it's a living water. It's not like bottled water sitting on the shelf that can be likened to dead water.
Right. Now, do I understand that they have actually like crushed up coconut shells in the filters, like it remineralizes by the same process, just as it would in a stream? Is that correct?
It is going to preserve the minerals in the water. Correct.
That's outstanding. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Now tell us the same thing with show us a little bit with that hydrogen machine, and what is that, the button for ozone and ozonation or whatever that is? What can I use that for?
All right, so this is the hydrogen machine right here. And although they look the same, the button display is going to be very similar on both machines. The hydrogen machine, from left to the bottom, we got the hydrogen water button, and that's for drinking. Then we got the strong hydrogen, that's for cooking. Then we have ozone water. What's great about ozone water, it's a really strong disinfectant that basically obliterates germs and all those yucky things that we don't like and can cause harm to our bodies. And then we have the purified water. Oh, and the ozone water is really good for using as like a mouthwash instead of like Listerine or something, which is still great, but ozone water is good too. Then we have the purified water, the purified water is used for just taking medications. So if you have a medication that's time released, it doesn't, it's not absorbed as quickly. Okay. And then we have the cleaning button. And what's great about these machines is they're self-cleaning. Now, wouldn't you like it if your house was self-cleaning, like if something just popped out and vacuumed and cleaned the dishes and did all that fancy stuff for you? Well, this machine basically has a self-cleaning button, and you just press it. I'll show you on this machine. They both have self-cleaning. So you press it and you turn it on, and it goes through a cleaning cycle. Then the screen switches over to what's called purified. And then once it's switched to purified, you're able to turn off the machine and the cleaning cycle is complete. So it doesn't require any additives or anything like that. Some other manufacturers, they tell you in the manual in small print, open up doors and windows while you're running the cleaning cycle because it has a cleaning cartridge. So that's something to know.
Hey, thank you, Antonio. That's a great demonstration. They really are easy to use. I know I personally have an alkaline water machine, and it's incredibly easy to use. Even my mother, who can't use a remote control for a television, can operate my water machine. So that's quite an endorsement right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So thank you, Antonio. I appreciate that. Didn't you? If you're on this call and you saw him, he's just adorable. I want to buy water from him just because he's so cute. So
thank you very much.
Thank you, Antonio. Okay, so now what we've got is last week we were going to do an interview with Wayne and Angie Miles, and we had a little bit of technical difficulty. So what we did was, rather than keep you on the call, we scheduled another call with them, a different call. And so we went online and I recorded with them. I asked them some questions, and our sweet Anita was kind enough to kind of edit that down so we could get just like the meat of the interview and offer it in this time frame. And then if you'll email us info@IMPaX World, we'll be happy to send you the full. There's like a 30-minute interview, 30-minute interview with Wayne and Angie. And Wayne is just an incredible guy, 75 years old, 5-time survivor of cancer. He's an extreme runner. He really cares about his health, and he just has had quite a journey with IMPaX World products, as well as now with hydrogen water and alkaline water. And so, Anita, if we're ready, I would so appreciate if you would just kind of roll that interview for us.
I'm days away from 75.
Wow.
And I'm just living my life. I had some health challenges a number of years ago now, very serious, and was expected to die soon. And so trying to get my head around that, realizing we're all going to die. And that's not the important aspect there. The important thing is how well I lived the time between now and when the Lord calls me home. And so it's all about putting some quality in my day and trying to make sure that when people are in contact with me, experience me, that it's a positive thing for them. That's kind of my premise. I wake up in the morning, I thank the Lord for the day, and I start moving forward. Angie kind of likes to say that it's I don't know how to die, and she's right, but I have some sense for how to live. That's where I want my focus. So I'm as active as I can be, and hopefully a positive experience for the people that I encounter along the way.
I love that, Wayne. Thank you. Could you also tell us, now I understand that you have battled cancer, not just one time, but you've several times had to face that dreaded word. People hear that word and immediately all hope goes out of them. And we have so many people that we're connected to. I don't know of a single person that hasn't been touched either personally or someone they know and love that has received that diagnosis. And I understand that you've had it not just once, but several times. Could you tell us about what was the first time you were diagnosed? What did that look like? And sort of how did you combat that mentally and spiritually and physically? How did you attack that cancer?
It's quite a while ago. In the mid 1990s, when I was about 50 years old, I was still running competitively and doing quite well. But my performances began to tail off a little bit. I was told then that you're getting older, it's just something to expect. I didn't like that. I didn't want that. So anyway, that's about the time when I started getting tested and that sort of thing. In 2001, I was diagnosed with cancer in my neck. And I had a radical neck dissection. That's why I have the skinny neck, and I'm kind of out of. There's no symmetry to me because they took a lot of tissue out of my neck, and that's the time first when I was told I was going to die. I didn't handle it very well. I went through the whole grief cycle about why me and all this kind of stuff, and I'm a nice guy. Shouldn't happen to nice guys, But when it really got down to what's important about life, that's when things started to change for me. I should not have survived, but I did. And since 2001, I've had cancer 5 times.
Wow.
3 were very major. They were going to amputate my leg at one time because it was sarcoma in my leg.
Wow.
I've had the typical old man problem. I've got prostate cancer. Had the Da Vinci, which is, if you ever see the machine, really study it because it's incredible. It's this big thing that just kind of comes at you.
Wow.
They do marvelous things. I've been blessed with the support of my wife, my faith, and medical professionals that have been incredible.
So I understand also that IMPaX World has been kind of an important part of your journey, and how you take care of your health. Like me, I'm also an Enterprime evangelist, love Enterprime and Delta E. So tell me how did that play into your role as you were kind of really battling to keep your health? And I love how you said, I don't know how to die, but I know how to live, or you want to live well. So can you tell me how that has played a part?
Well, that's been very important because so much of you know, there's living is it's a real package deal. You know, there's the spiritual, the mental, you know, the physical things. Nutrition is very important, very important. I've often heard people spend their youth and their health acquiring wealth, and then later in life they have to spend that wealth trying to regain their health.
Right.
Neglected it earlier, and so I don't recommend that. So what happened was we started taking Enterprime, one of the IMPaX products, a number of years ago to sort of help us with our diet, the balance of our diet. And what actually happened over time was I realized that the IMPaX products that I was taking, and I continue to take today, were my foundation of nutrition, and what I ate supplemented that. And when I realized what was happening there, then I became I guess much more devoted, I guess, to the IMPaX products and the nutrition there. So I learned through my the cancer processes, that you know, our blood has a pH balance of about 7.5 on the scale of measurement there. And the alkaline, I decided that it would be important to me, or beneficial for me, to bring my pH balance into an alkaline position. If I could create a good balance within my system, rather than having my system be acidic, and that the cancer doesn't thrive well in the alkaline environment, but it will thrive in the acidic environment. And so I started, we had the opportunity to get some alkaline water, and we purchased a machine, had it in our home, and I was drinking it. That's what I drank all the time. I bathed in the tap water we had, and we washed dishes and all that kind of thing, our clothing. But as far as consuming it, I consumed alkaline water.
Right.
And, in the hopes that it would be beneficial to my system and help prevent future cancers for me, alkaline. But when I moved to hydrogen water to drink in my home, I realized it was lighter water, and I know it's a perception thing, and it feels to me as though it's a little lighter, it's a little more pure to me, and I sense that it gets into my system quicker. It's processed into my system.
Gotcha.
Faster.
Yeah, so hydrogen for me, I've been selling the machines because I tell people my experience. I want to share one that is so important. I had a friend of a friend come in. The lady has radiation and chemo. Her name is Robin. She still have teenagers. She has terminal cancer. She had an effort to drive 10, 15 minutes from IMPaX to here, from her house to IMPaX. I'm gonna make the story short. She heard all testimony. Wayne walked in, she heard all the testimony. She bought 2 packets of Delta, 2 boxes of Delta, and 2 in the Prime. She believed everything I told her, and she has the will to live. And that's what it takes. I said, go buy the machine. Here's a little cup, and I want you to drink as much hydrogen as you can. She drank 5 little cups, I think. Went home, she said, I'm probably gonna go for a nap and sleep for hours. She came back an hour and a half later and said, I went home, I noticed I needed grocery shopping. I went shopping, I came back, I came and got my container. I need alkaline water. And she bought the hydrogen in the little bottle. She says, Angie, I have never felt so much energy. And she said, this hydrogen water did something for me.
Okay. Well, that's just a little taste. There's a lot more to that interview with both of them, and it would be worth your while to watch. You know, they've got a lot to say. I appreciated how Wayne said, you know, in our youth, we spend our youth and our health trying to gain wealth. And then as we grow older, we spend our wealth and our wealth trying to regain our health and regain our youth. And so I think it would be important for us, particularly those, if we really could begin more to focus on prevention. I love to share, listen, as a testimonial, I have 3 kids in their 20s, and they have been on Interprime with me. My girls swore by Delta E all through college. They took it with them to school, never wanted to take an exam without it. And now they're, you know, 2 of them are grown and on their own, and have invested. You know what it's like when you're in your early 20s and you've got student loans and all the things. Okay, but they understand the value enough that they invest in their own health for prevention. They see already what it does. They know I've been on it for 15 years. They've watched my immunity as I travel across the world. And, you know, so it's important to invest in yourself. And listen, another thing, you know, Wayne and Angie's testimony, we all know someone, either ourselves personally, or we know someone who has been impacted by cancer. There's no one that you can meet that hasn't lost someone or knows someone battling with cancer. And I don't know, you know, there's a lot of research, and you believe what you believe in studies, and who did the study and who funded the study and how long is the study. And I appreciate all of that. There's a certain skepticism, or I understand that, but what if drinking alkaline water really did make an environment where cancer didn't thrive? If there was even a possibility of it, I'm telling you, I'd want to do it. I'm thinking about some friends right now that are battling breast cancer. I'm going to hang up and say, hey, have you guys thought about alkaline water? Because what if having an alkaline state in your body made it hostile to cancer cells? I would want to do it. I would want to try it. What if drinking the hydrogen gave me energy? Those who have had to deal with chemotherapy and things like that, what if drinking hydrogen water really did improve the quality of their life? That would be worth it. That's so worthwhile. So much better than a Starbucks cup of coffee, or, you know, whatever beverage of your choice that makes you feel better. Why don't you knock down some alkaline water and hydrogen water and maybe actually be better? So as we kind of conclude this call, I want to remind you, I want you to remember that motivation curve. And we can, same thing, Kim will gladly send you that JPEG. Listen, it came from Noom. So that I want to make sure I give credit where credit's due. That came from Noom. It's a psychology-based weight loss program, but they didn't invent the motivation curve. I just like their diagram of it. Wherever you're at in your motivation curve, for whatever your goal is in life, if it's a health-based goal, if it's a spiritual goal, a relationship goal, a building business goal, understanding how the motivation curve works, the hype, the honeymoon, the plummet, the lapse, and then we have surges and slips that go on. When we understand that that's normal, we won't give up. So I want to encourage you to press through. And I would like to leave you with this one thing. What's one thing you could commit to sharing what you're learning with someone else? Would you commit to just inviting someone else to join this call next week? If you would commit to that, I would either put it in the chat or maybe send us an email, or just say it, text yourself, I commit to just inviting one person. I want to share with one person the possible benefits of alkaline water and hydrogen water. And next week, we're going to have some breaking news. I'm dying to tell you what it is, but I'm going to hold my water, pun intended. We've got some breaking news we're actually going to bring. It's so exciting that it would be the perfect call. I've got friends I'm going to invite on this call next week because I want them to hear what Carrie has to tell us. Some groundbreaking research that's come out. There's something really exciting. So I want to leave you with that. I want to leave you with, listen, you have a wonderful week. You are a chosen child of God. He cares about you. You have a purpose and a destiny and a calling, and you can only fulfill that if you've got your health. So we're signing off tonight. I'm going to invite you back next week. Please send us an email, talk to us, info@impaxworld.com. And until next week, You have a wonderful evening. God bless.